Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you a story, one that might sound like something out of a high-octane political drama, but I assure you, it's rooted in the volatile and unpredictable reality we've all come to know far too well. It all started on a blistering summer afternoon when Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett stood in front of a crowd, microphone in hand, eyes blazing with the kind of fire that only comes when you've got nothing left to lose and everything to say. Her words, sharp and unrelenting, cut through the usual political noise. She spoke of things no one expected her to say: documents, associations, private messages, things that brought the Trump name back into the headlines in a way no press secretary could control. She didn't target Donald or Melania, no, she called out Barron Trump, the youngest of the clan, now grown and trying desperately to keep his name out of the political fray. But that afternoon, he was pulled in. According to Jasmine Crockett, Barron hadn't just been a passive observer of the Trump legacy. She suggested he'd been using encrypted messaging platforms to communicate with people tied to foreign political actors. She didn't call him a traitor. She didn't have to. She dropped breadcrumbs, just enough for the public to start putting pieces together, enough to ignite a media frenzy. Her words went viral within hours. People dissected every syllable. She hinted at phone records, emails, offshore accounts, and texts that could paint a different picture of the private Trump heir. No one had seen this coming, not from her, not about him. Barron Trump, up to that point, had mostly been treated with a hands-off respect. He was the kid in the background of the Trump spectacle, but now he was front and center, and he wasn't having it. Just 36 hours later, news broke that Barron had contacted law enforcement. Some sources claimed he called the FBI, others said it was local D.C. police, but what mattered most was the intent. Barron Trump, now 19 and a legal adult, accused Jasmine Crockett of defamation, invasion of privacy, and something even more serious: unlawful possession and distribution of classified or protected communications. According to his side, she had either been handed documents illegally or had fabricated her entire speech using AI-generated content designed to incite public outrage and damage the Trump family name. And just like that, what had started as a fiery speech turned into a legal powder keg. Suddenly, Jasmine Crockett found herself on the defensive. Her team scrambled to clarify. They insisted that what she shared had been declassified or was already in the public domain via whistleblowers. But Barron's team pushed back hard. A young man once painted as the quiet son of a former president now stood as the face of a counter-offensive, one that involved lawyers, digital forensics, and public relations experts spinning stories across every media outlet. Meanwhile, social media turned into a battleground. Some hailed Jasmine as a truth teller, a fearless disruptor taking down political dynasties. Others called her reckless, dangerous, and accused her of exploiting a young man for headlines. The legal drama exploded further when law enforcement visited Crockett's office. According to staffers, agents asked for access to her devices. Though no charges were officially filed, the political implications were clear. Barron Trump wasn't playing the background anymore. He wanted accountability, but accountability for what? For being mentioned, for being possibly involved in something darker. The nation couldn't decide. Cable news turned it into a week-long spectacle. Hashtags trended non-stop. Late-night hosts had a field day. Behind the noise, though, was something deeper, a moment that captured the uneasy intersection of political power, personal privacy, and generational legacy. Because this wasn't just about Jasmine Crockett speaking truth to power or Barron Trump defending his name. This was about how dangerously blurred the lines had become between exposure and accusation, between justice and retaliation. And through it all, you had to wonder, what was really going on? Was Crockett making a bold stand based on real evidence, or was it a political stunt meant to draw attention during a slow news cycle? And Barron, was he simply trying to clear his name, or was he attempting to silence a member of Congress using the full weight of his family's influence? The courts may decide some of those answers, or maybe they won't. Maybe this entire saga will fade away like so many others, absorbed into the constant churn of the 24-hour news cycle. But what will stay, etched in the public memory, is that rare moment when a rising political voice dared to speak a name that was never supposed to be touched, and the person behind that name decided not to stay silent. So whether you believe Barron Trump was justified in calling the cops, or you stand behind Jasmine Crockett's fiery convictions, one thing is clear: politics today is no longer about who holds office. It's about who dares to speak, who chooses to fight back, and how far each side is willing to go to win, not just in court, not just in Congress, but in the minds of the people watching from the sidelines, wondering who to believe.